Good evening, welcome to the evening edition of From Day One. For auditors, Sov Cits and Karens are all in the line, ready to go. And we're going to start with how to turn a simple plate violation into an arrest.
Passenger side, start asking questions, you just rolled up the window and turned around and started dialing people. I'm like, nope, you're good now.
I don't understand why they think we're making it up. You know what I mean? Like,
I even told them the statute. I was like, 28, 1595 requires me to give your driver's license. I'm investigating you for a crime. Pennsylvania versus Mims, the whole.
Along with us for this one is Van Bellion.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today's video comes out of Sedona, which is close to Flagstaff in Arizona, where yet another sovereign citizen / American national is caught driving on fictitious plates and turns a possible ticket for displaying that plate into an arrest for refusing to ID, displaying a fictitious plate and resisting arrest. This is body cam footage that he requested and received, so his own version of the video is listed with edits of him misquoting cases like Dickie v. Davis, Thompson v. Smith, Self v. Ray and Techline v. Danforth. Now, we've seen all these cases debunked 1,000 times because Sov Cits like to cherry pick them to within an inch of their lives. So I'm not going to subject you all to those edits, I'm just going to concentrate on the traffic stop and arrest. However, if you do want to see that version, then there will be a link in the description. Right, let's get into the video.
Sounds good.
Hello. I'm Officer Welch from Snow Police Department. The reason I stopped you is it appears you have a fictitious license plate on the back of your vehicle. Do you know anything about that? I'm a sovereign human being. Okay. And I'm an American national.
Another teacher
Okay.
moron.
Do you have your driver's license, insurance, and registration, please? What? No. Do you have any form of ID on you? No. Matthew Tuchmar's. Okay. All right. So just so you know, pulled over a couple times already by state troopers, sheriffs, and this is recognized. Okay. Okay. I don't agree. So. Okay, well. I'm going to be honest with you. That's actually a misdemeanor crime for you to display a fictitious license plate. Additionally, you not providing me with the driver's license is required under Arizona Revised Statutes 28-1595. That is also a misdemeanor crime. Additionally,
rolling up that window is not a good idea, especially if the driver's side door is unlocked and the window is rolled down, because all the cop needs to do is, well, this.
Alright, go ahead and step out, please.
Get the fuck out.
Step out of your car, please.
Well,
I didn't do anything wrong. I need another unit. Step it up, please. I did not do anything wrong.
Number one.
Pennsylvania versus Mims is a Supreme Court case law that says you're required to get out of that car if I ask you. If you do not, I'm going to force you to. Hold on a second. Call my lawyer. Okay, get out of your car. Call my lawyer. You can call your lawyer if you want, but as soon as another officer gets here, I'm going to force you out of that car if you don't get out on your own.
If whoever does answer that phone, please let it be Squeak on the other end of it. For those who don't know who Squeak is, he's a Sov Cits guru who coaches Sov Cits and peddles pseudo-legal woo over the phone during traffic stops. And their terrible advice usually ends with the recipient of the call in a pair of silver bracelets.
Are we that lucky?
Baron, what I'm going for now, he's just not getting out of his car.
Not sounding like he's,
You're being detained right now. And Pennsylvania versus Mims is the United States Supreme Court case law. You're being detained. Why?
Because
I told you, I'm investigating one crime. Okay. You also said you don't have a driver's license, which is another one. And if you don't provide me a form of identification when I'm investigating for a crime, that is a third crime that I'm investigating for. There is no crime. You are required by law to provide me your true full legal name if I'm investigating a crime. Well, this car, if you do not provide me with your true full legal name, you can be arrested for that. Matthew Tucciaroni. Okay. Do you have a driver's license or any other form of identification? I am a sovereign being. My name is Matthew Tucciaroni. Okay. Again, Arizona Revised Statutes 28-1595 requires you to show me an ID card or driver's license. Listen. There's a lot of people in town with the same license plate.
Oh, right. So because other people are quite happy to break the law, that makes it okay for you to break the law. Well, I'm sorry, but that's not how the world works.
That's not how
And
any of
you
this
guys
works.
have the nerve to call people who call you out on this nonsense sheep.
Get out. No, I'm not getting out of the car. I'm going to give you... I didn't do anything wrong. All right. I'm not getting out of Matthew? The car. I've done... If you do not get out, I'm going to force you out.
Please force him out.
Matthew.
It's early evening and missing talent
Remember
or
when I
whatever
mentioned that he edited this video? Well, this is his text, so I'm just going to address it for a second.
Okay.
Force will only be used as a last resort, like if you fail to comply with a lawful order.
Which is what you're
doing. It's not
doing.
just over a license plate, is it? It's because you failed to comply with every lawful order given to you up until this point.
If you don't get out of your car, Matthew, look at me. Matthew, look at me. If you don't get out, I'm going to force you out. I'm going to charge you with resisting arrest also. So get out, please. Come on.
Or not, and we'll be happy to see you arrested.
Come on, sir. Get out. There's no reason. I've asked you probably 10 times to get out. There's no reason to act like this. Get out of your car then. All right. There's no reason to act like this. There's no reason to act like this. Do not touch me. Get out. Do not touch me. Get out of your car. Do not touch me. Do not touch me. Please. Please do not touch me.
Please
I've asked you 10 times to get out. Get out on your own then. What are you doing? Please do not touch me. Officer Ramirez. Ow. Come on. Get on the ground. No. 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 I didn't do anything, Officer Ramirez. Okay, all right. Please, I didn't do anything. Get on your stomach. Come on. Officer Ramirez. Just comply. Just comply for now. All right. Just comply for now. Okay.
Well, you are kind of right. You didn't do anything. You didn't hand over your license, registration and insurance, and you didn't get out of your vehicle when you were supposed to.
Also
and
correct.
The fact that the officer had to continually repeat these lawful orders over and over means you did in fact commit a crime.
Also
By the way,
correct.
that's some pretty good de-escalation tactics by these two female officers, to be fair. That could have been a lot worse.
I will give you information if you wish to file a complaint later, okay? But right now, just cooperate. Okay? 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 Very well. All right, just listen. All right? I just got here, okay? But right now, the best thing you can do is just comply. All right? If you want to file a complaint, I will give you that information. All right? I promise. My superiors will overlook everything. Okay? All right? But he had to repeat himself, all right? Like I said. All right, just stand up. Stand up, all right? Matthew, what are you doing? Let's go back to your car. You are safe. You were safe from the beginning when I told you that. I know. Just relax, okay? Right now you're safe. You are safe. Not a sovereign plate on there. You didn't comply with my officer here. Okay? All right, just relax, all right? You are safe. Go ahead and take a seat for me, all right? Just relax, Matthew, okay? Just like this. I just want to put your feet in for me. I'm not going to go. Please just listen to my officer. Just listen to my officer. I want. Okay? I'll get you some water. We'll make you some comfortable. Right now, we got to do what we got to do, all right? Okay? Just please comply, Matthew. All right? I'm here, all right? Okay? Just comply with this, all right? We'll make you comfortable here in a minute, all right? Just relax. Watch your leg, okay? You watch him for a second. I didn't get a chance to pat it down. Can you run Matthew Tucciaroni from in-house, please, and after the call, I believe that's going to be my driver. Is it right outside the car?
So the second thing you place yourself, even if you drive the car, you go through that car, you're responsible for everything that's on that car. Okay, so if you're driving around in that car, you're accountable for it.
All right, you go by Matthew. Is that okay if I call you that? Okay. I'm going to read you something, okay?
Hang on, what kind of magical thinking is this? It's not a weapon if it was never brandished. Is this another Supreme Court case he's trying to cite?
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure it's not, but let me know in the comments if you know what he's talking about here. Because by that logic, an apple is not an apple because it was never eaten. I don't think that's how the world works, dude. A weapon is a weapon, wherever it is.
So, at this time, you are under arrest for displaying a fictitious license plate, refusing to provide with your driver's license, and resisting arrest. Okay? Please listen. I'm going to read this to you, then we can talk a little more, okay? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk with a lawyer and have him or her present while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you free of any cost to you. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand each of these rights? Just comply, okay? Okay, Officer Ramirez. Fine. Is this yours or his? Yours? Fine. I went on the passenger side, started asking questions. He just rolled up the window and turned around and started dialing people. I'm like, nope, you're getting out.
I don't understand why they think we're making it up. You know what I mean? Like,
I even told them the statute. I was like, 28, 1595 requires me to give your driver's license. I'm investigating you for a crime. Pennsylvania versus Mims, the whole thing.
Okay, so another sovereign citizen gets arrested because he doesn't think the laws in Arizona apply to him. Well, he found out the hard way that they do, and they even took his fictitious plates away so he can't use them again. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I really...
Thank you. Let me get our next clip, guys. Just one moment. Okay. Oh. Yeah, let's go with that one.
Okay guys, I've got a bit of a treat for you all today. A Sov Cits Karen in the wild who gets pulled over by an Illinois state trooper in the city of Rockford for not wearing her seatbelt. She argues that she was wearing it and claims to have video evidence, though we never get to see this video because her phone camera is face down on the passenger seat. But that doesn't stop her from lying to the trooper about it. Anyway, there's a lot of ups and downs in this one, including a $20 million lawsuit threat. Damn, I'm in the wrong job. And a laugh so cackly that it creeped my wife out when she first heard it. You have been warned.
I turned on my video because the cops did a U-turn right behind me. So I was pulling up to a stoplight. I have no idea what's going on, except that they're after me. Yep, here he comes probably.
Yeah, we usually do that for people who break the rules.
Yep, pulled in behind me. I'm doing 30 miles an hour, and yet that truck in front of me is not. Let's see what the hell's going on here. And I'm pulling into a gas station. We'll see. My doors are locked.
Like an idiot.
My service dog is with me.
Also like an idiot. The doggy though is awesome. We like doggies.
Hang on, did that sound like the click of a seatbelt? Let's listen to that one again. I could be wrong, but that's what it sounds like to me. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.
And we will find out. As you see, I have a seatbelt on.
Now.
So they can't say that that's what it was. There's the officer back there. Oh, now there's two cars. Wonder what's going on.
They know you're an asshole.
Yeah, we're gonna find out what's going on. I have driver's license, legal. Don't need it.
And there's the sign that she's a sovereign citizen, even though she has a license. But more on that later.
Find out what's going on. Oh, that guy's driving off. Yep, we'll see. Hi, can I help? What's going on?
Police pulled you over, you didn't have your seatbelt on back on.
Yes, sir, I did, and I have video proof. I have not touched it at all.
Okay, well, it was behind your back.
No, sir, it was not behind my back at all.
A few moments ago.
Cue the click.
I smell bullshit.
He's not going back to this truck, so where's the...
DMV has it. DMV has it. It does come back to this truck because they just did it on Wednesday. I just purchased the damn truck.
Do you have the title for it?
Not yet. It's being bought, so I'll never get the title in the state of Illinois. The state keeps it.
Paperwork with it with the VIN or anything?
Yep, sure do.
Yep, sure do.
Sure do. Yeah, that's right.
Alright,
And
well, your driver's license is...
hold on. Your name is what? And your number is?
My name is John.
No,
My number
sir.
is
I
Joe.
need court.
Driver's license and insurance.
Super Monaco. What was the number, sir?
7125. Now, I need your driver's license.
That's your number.
Oh, that's his number. My
7125.
6802.
Nakito and
Go.
Nitko?
Yes, ma'am. I
Nitko.
need your driver's license.
Yeah, well, you'll give me time here, sir.
No, that's not how
And
this
I
works.
don't have to give them to you. I have to produce them for you, sir. I don't have to give them to you. I know the law.
Either way, it's good for you, but I do need those documents.
Yeah, so I'll have to fast forward a couple of minutes because Mrs. I Know the Law decides to put her paperwork on camera, which includes her personal details. But she doesn't blur anything out, so I've just removed that part. But no worries, we're not missing anything good. That part comes shortly.
Okay.
And this is being reported as harassment because you guys are purposely doing this. You know what? Yeah, you did because you did a U-turn. I sure did have my seatbelt on. My seatbelt was just like that. We sure the fuck will. We sure the fuck will go to court.
Hey, this is my show. I'm the only one who gets to curse.
Fucking ass, we're gonna go to court. This is goddamn fucking harassment. Here's U.S. Auto. I don't know what part of it, but it's part of the bill of sale shit. Here's the fund. Here's my insurance. Just a minute.
No, just
a
now.
minute. I want to make sure that I get paperwork proving that this car is mine, whatever. Sorry, the video cut out. But the audio sure didn't. I got 2 cameras on you. Yeah, I do. Not that I need one. Because I'm a citizen traveling. I'm not under the UCC, which is United Commercial Code. You know what, sir? No, citizens do not have to. The law, supreme law says. And I've already gone to court over this before.
And lost. Thank you, John-Luc.
Okay, so I think that's the worst butchering of a Sov Cits script I've ever seen. First of all, it's Uniform Commercial Code, not United Commercial Code. And the supreme law, as you put it, doesn't say you can drive without a license. In fact, it says the opposite of that. And the UCC deals with commercial transactions, so nothing to do with driver's license requirements at all.
Correct.
Fine. Just hold on. I'll present it. I'm not passing it through to you.
You do need to get it.
No, sir. I need to present it to you. Right there.
You still live on 12th Avenue?
Sure the fuck do.
Alright, well, don't need
Again,
to.
my show.
I have the First Amendment constitutional right to freedom of speech.
Just because you have a constitutional right to free speech, it doesn't mean you have to use it in such an obnoxious manner. I mean, it's not a requirement. Ever heard the saying, just because you are free to say whatever you want, doesn't always mean you should?
They have
Correct.
been out for me the last few days. So, yep, they have. They have been out for me the last few days, following them around and everything else.
And if you keep acting this
Or
way...
they are just going about their daily duties and you have a persecution complex. I'm guessing these state troopers probably have better things to do with their time than to follow you about all day, every day. But here's an idea. Don't give them a reason to pull you over for something as trivial as a seatbelt violation.
Correct.
Look at that, parking the car right in the driveway and in the entrance part of it too. Yeah. Trying to tell me I didn't have my fucking seatbelt on.
Hey, again, my show.
I sure the
What the
fuck
hell?
did.
Are you Woody Pecker? What the hell?
I sure the fuck did.
No, you sure did it.
I've been making sure that I've been legal.
Illegal?
Yep, something told me.
That you're stupid?
Something told me.
That you're dumb as fuck?
Yep. You make sure that you keep an eye for these sumbitches. Been pulling up in the goddamn parking lots and shit. Motherfucker trying to say I didn't have a goddamn seatbelt on. It's a good thing this
Wait,
thing
you
was
didn't?
rolling before I even got to stop.
What the hell?
Actually, your phone was face down right up until the moment you pulled over, so we didn't see if you had your seatbelt on until you lifted your camera, but we did all hear this.
I'm sure they're listening in on stuff too. I just spoke to my attorney today about having the DOJ at the courthouse on Monday, and here they are pulling me over.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Department of Justice.
Nice try, guys. I'll give you that. Kudos. I'll give you guys tried. I will give you guys tried. But see, your laws apply to commercial vehicles. You cannot force the citizen into a contract with an agent, an insurance agent, or anybody else.
Sorry, but laws apply to everyone and have nothing to do with contracts. It would kind of defeat the whole purpose of a law if that were the case. Nobody would ever agree to contracts. And if you do think that, then why do you even have a driver's license?
You think it's going to get me to stay here longer? All this shit's getting dismissed. It's going to get dismissed right the fuck away. Oh, I'm smiling big time because y'all violated my rights again, man. There's already a $20 million lawsuit going to be happening against your fucking asses. Keep it up.
You serious?
You serious?
Yes. Let's see what this mofo has to say.
Really has to say stop cursing.
Alright, I'm issuing you a citation for not wearing your seatbelt, okay?
I'm informing you right now, be in court. Be in court. Because
It's not required unless you want to plead not.
you know what? You can sit on it, rotate it, because you're lying, motherfucker. You're a lying motherfucker.
Hey.
Where's my citation?
Citation's in the paper I gave you, right?
Oh, so I don't have to sign for it, huh?
You're not.
Okay. We'll see you in court.
Let's go and plead not guilty.
We'll see you in court.
All right.
I'm not guilty, motherfucker. As you see, seatbelt is on. Seatbelt is on. And latched.
Oh yeah, like I said, we all heard the latch click into place.
See? Seatbelt is on. That mofo thinks he's going to be able to get away with giving me an illegal fucking ticket. He got another motherfucking thing coming. Because this witch, this bitch, this gold star mother ain't putting up with it no fucking more. Nope. Those rules apply to people who are drivers. The average citizen has a right to travel. Those are UCC rules.
And that's where this one ends, apart from the bit where she insults the trooper and drives away. So this stop was posted in March this year, so by now I bet she went to court and won her case, and then sued, and is now enjoying that $20 million settlement as we speak. Or maybe she's still driving around Rockford like an angry, paranoid Karen. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Take care, and I will catch you in the...
Yeah, I'm going to go with the latter, that she's still driving around like an idiot. Alright, let's handle another one.
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today is a follow-up to a video I covered in February this year where this Moorish sovereign citizen from New Jersey was arrested and got his car towed. That video ended with the prosecutor declining to prosecute the case for reasons I will get into shortly, but his car is still impounded because he still refuses to pay the tow and storage fees and register it with the state. You know, because reasons. So let's watch as he tries to get his car released from the impound lot for free.
Likely fails.
Unsure to register, get it impounded. So I got a letter from the county prosecutor addressing to John Fine and y'all immediately. I've been in contact with y'all, so
They haven't contacted us. They haven't sent us a letter.
okay, man. So listen, I'm gonna talk to you.
Video it.
So listen,
I need
okay,
Private property. Let
you
you know.
can say whatever you want, sir.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, I came down. It's happening in a lawsuit. John Fine's already. You can see that's dated March 7th on the date. So the prosecutor Ben told John Fine to let y'all know that Ben released my vehicle. Right? This is listed to John Fine. You understand that?
Where is it listed to
Look.
John Fine?
Chief John Fine, March 7th. Y'all had my car since January 24th. I've been won my case.
Like I said, he did not win his case. The prosecutor just declined to prosecute because, well, here's the reason given.
The prosecutor in our case did not have us there in court to tell our side. No, I let you talk. You're gonna let me talk now, okay?
Sure.
He did not allow us to be there. That prosecutor is no longer with the city of Burlington, okay? We were not there to tell our side of the story. All right, he dismissed everything.
Why wasn't you there?
Listen, he didn't summons us.
What? You had to be summoned to go to court?
Yeah, they have to notify us to be in court.
Who falls that?
The prosecutor.
Oh, okay.
And he's no longer with us.
Okay. So y'all failed again, right?
We didn't fail.
But I'm saying in law, no, township said dismiss.
We did not.
No, that's the
I'm
court
just
did
saying that, not the city of Burlington.
Okay, but I'm just saying on y'all side.
If we were there to tell our side, it probably would have gone.
But I'm just saying you.
So that's why the charges were dismissed. He didn't win, although that is the word used by the prosecutor. Poor use of words, which these guys have jumped all over. But yeah, the case was dismissed. Anyway, back to the tow yard.
February 17th, I've been won my case. I've been in contact with y'all. Y'all got my mail. And this is going to result in a lawsuit. And a big one in John Fine and everyone that's a part of it.
I had contacted by the police of Burlington City to tell your car for no insurance and
And
registration.
who's the letter alluded to?
Okay, you
John
could
Fine has a
have
law.
came in the next day and paid the $7.
No, I'm not paying anything.
And that's it.
But all right, listen. But we couldn't have came in.
United States of America.
Republic.
Relax. because I'm the one who was driving the vehicle when it was
seen
taken.
it on Facebook.
Okay, that's fine.
Larry,
That's
you have a video now on Facebook.
Yeah, it's public. The law is public. How is it stupid? The law is public.
I'm trying.
You don't own any of your ones.
There's
We're not
record.
We're not here. Listen, babe. Listen, relax. We're not here to argue. We're not here to argue.
Yes, you
We're not. How are we here to argue? Listen.
I'm gonna fucking scrap it or don't fucking get it. Yeah, okay.
You're not. Listen. He better chill out. That's what he better do.
You have it sitting there.
He's not even.
Stop talking. It's men. It's men talking. Don't say nothing. Because they got one more chance.
So ignorant of the law and misogynistic as well. That should tell you everything you need to know about how this guy sees himself in relation to women. And one more chance for what sounds like a threat to sue to me. And from the son's reaction, this is not the first time they've tried to get their car released without first getting it registered and paying the fees.
We have a waiting room.
I don't care what you got.
Don't get in
Relax.
You walked to me. I've been sitting right here.
Hey.
I've been sitting right here. You walked to me. You walked to me. You walked up in my face.
Call the cops.
Relax.
Y'all better stop walking up on me. It's recorded that they keep walking in my face. I got 6 feet. If I get invaded my space one more time, I'm going to feel threatened. And I'm going to feel like I had to defend myself.
Okay, Bill.
Okay, get out. Well, if you want
Get out.
feet in my
Get out.
it's on recorded.
Get out. Get out. Get out the door. Call the cops now.
You're going nowhere. You're on private property. You've been asked to leave numerous times now. The owner of the property will be well within his rights to use minimal force to remove you. Though I think he's right to call for the police. But doesn't this show how Sov Cits are willing to trample all over other people's rights to get what they want?
Car Star, 1202 Route 130 North. Yes, Township. Are we in Township? Township. We're city.
Burlington City. He's calling. Are you calling Burlington Township?
Donna Croft, URL. I am a no-no. Thank you. I don't want any trouble. It's what we fall.
Me too, man. I had my car for over 3
I
months.
know.
I have 2 children.
Hey, that's not her. That's not us. That's them.
It's not hers.
Okay?
So I went to the tow office. I got threatened by the owner. He walked in my
Get out of
face.
here,
I have it on recorded. He walked from around the counter, came to my face, saying, "Get out." I'm trusting.
I said to go into the.
No, I got it recorded. And
There's
he's
a
walking
waiting
my
room
face
right
right
there.
now.
All right.
Genius move there, telling the camera and possibly 911 that you've just been trespassed, yet you still remain on the property. Well done. And yes, you were asked to go into the waiting room, you just refused, instead choosing to stay there and intimidate the owners. That's disgusting behaviour.
Right in your face.
You're 6 feet, sir. 6 feet. 6 feet, sir. You're walking up on me. I'm talking to your wife. She's saying,
There's a waiting room
I don't
right
need to
there.
know your waiting room, sir. You keep walking up on me. I feel threatened. I keep telling you I feel threatened. So stop
All
walking
the
up on
letters
me.
you send us soon as for $500,000 from a fake government.
Okay. See, fake government. See that transmitter, man? This the owner. Yeah, we recording. You know everything's being recorded. This the owner.
If it's fake, why would the But if it was fake, why would the prosecutor tell you to release the vehicle?
So this letter from the assistant prosecutor reads as follows. Please allow this letter to serve as authorization to release the vehicle seized, pursuant to the investigation. That's all it says. It doesn't say release it without paying the fees or without registration. All the prosecutor has the power to do is dismiss the tickets. He cannot tell the tow company how to do their job.
The only thing I have the power to do is dismiss your tickets. So do it.
State laws.
We are following the law.
We're in New Jersey.
We're not a resident of the state of New Jersey.
You live in Burlington City. You lived up north.
North America is our residence. We're
What's
aboriginal
your
to this
address?
land.
Where do you live? Where do you sleep?
In North America.
Where do you sleep?
In my home.
Yeah, where's that?
Where I
Burlington City?
domicile. No.
Where? Where's that?
You wouldn't know. The owner of the tow company.
Excuse me, could you turn that down? I'm trying to make a phone call here. Thank you.
That was their quote-unquote president on the phone there, C. Cannon Bay, who apparently has quite the rap sheet himself. So we have the governor and president on the case. It's fun to pretend, I guess.
This is what we've been going through since we came up here. Yesterday we talked to John Fine and them, and then we came up
here and trying to start trouble. Have the prosecutor send us a letter and a check.
We just gave you the letter.
We don't work for free. Okay?
We just gave you a letter,
what
though.
the prosecutor says. We don't work for free.
He gonna say he don't care what the prosecutor says.
That's crazy.
Like, how you not care what the prosecutor says?
Of course he doesn't care what the prosecutor says. The prosecutor is not in charge of this tow yard. He doesn't have a say in the car being released, let alone for free. Like he said, they don't work for free. Somebody's got to pay for it. They won't release it until you pay what you owe. At this rate, the fees are going to cost more than the car's worth itself.
What's his number?
You're crazy.
Just Google it. Burlington
And you
County
just want to antagonize. We didn't come here confrontational. You did that.
Your shoes are untied.
I know they're inside. Thank you. That's not even what they said. I am recording.
A car start, 1202 Route 130 North.
The lady is actually, they keep saying,
Go ahead and try.
They're gonna throw it, but like, let's take a threats, and it's being recorded.
He gonna scrap the car. So then we're just gonna see if he scraps the car. We're gonna see what happens, because then we're gonna own this.
To be fair, you threatened to lean his parents for $500,000. I'd be pissed too.
Yeah, just like you.
It's been crazy since we got out here. But the wife is very confined. I have no, the woman, we don't have, it's definitely him. Because she's been very confined.
And tell you, that's a fake letter.
So angry.
Burlington
He's
County
so
prosecutor's
angry.
office getting arrested today.
Okay, so we just gonna, they called the police, so we just waiting for the police to get here.
He didn't say either.
You got that letter for the cops? Because it's fake, you're getting arrested. First.
I'm recording him. We're gonna come up here with a fake letter.
Signed by the prosecutor?
Yep.
Stop talking, okay? Just stay.
Sorry.
Like how you said, just keep your calm, like God you said. Keep your mind.
Stay calm, he says. Well, that ship has sailed. You're the reason the police have been called. Anyway, let's skip forward to the part where they get locked out of the building and when the police arrive to basically tell them to pay their bill.
Thank you very much. Shoes untied, trip.
That's all he did was, I knew he was gonna do that anyway, that he locked the door. Let the cops come though. He locked us out of the business.
Well, duh. Okay, so you're telling me even though I got a letter issued from a prosecutor, right? This is what I no, I'm just let me play even though I have a letter from the prosecutor to the chief of police telling them as a release letter to release my vehicle under any criminal investigation is done, right? I got told you don't want to hear the video. You told me out your mouth you don't want to hear the video. I'm told I didn't pay a toll tax. What makes you think I'm gonna pay a toll? I'm not to be taxed. So listen.
And it was unlawfully told.
March 7th is the day I was supposed to have my car. I've been supposed to have my car. I'm doing the footwork now. I had to go talk to the prosecutor. He said, "Sir, I've been told him to release the vehicle. Now I'm coming to release my vehicle. They're threatening me. They're telling me all of this. They don't care about no prosecutor. They're gonna call this on me. Get out their country. And then now you come and you telling me they're saying you're supposed to. No one's above the law, sir.
Now that's rich coming from a guy who drives around without a license, registration and insurance, then refuses to pay to get his vehicle back because, well, he's somehow above those laws nobody's supposed to be above.
Trying to tell you what they're telling you.
But no one's above the law. You're supposed to enforce the law. You see a letter from the prosecutor, sir. That's your higher up. So I'm saying if I have a letter from a prosecutor, active prosecutor, telling every party to release my vehicle, especially to the chief of police.
Are you talking to the officers?
I don't want to talk about it. I just want my vehicle. I had no dealings with Burlington City Police.
It has no involvement with Burlington Township. So in order to talk to Burlington City,
but what does that have to do today for my vehicle? I already did my legwork.
I understand that. However, they can't verify it.
The letter? It's
So,
signed. That doesn't. A letter signed by the prosecutor.
They need to make. So,
that doesn't. A letter signed by the prosecutor.
They need to make their. Listen, sir.
Okay.
So they need to verify your vehicle. Again,
The tow company. The tow company need to verify my vehicle.
So in order for you to get it, they need the tow bill and the storage fees paid. Whether you do it, the prosecutor's office, Burlington City, you got to get that figured out so that they as business can get paid.
In other words, pay your bills.
They was called, correct? It was the tow company.
Okay, but they were
No.
service.
Take time for me. Okay. Service, because they thought my car was unlawfully. Listen,
That would be Burlington City.
Listen, I won in court. I just showed you my disposition in court from your court, township, signed by judge.
So, your charges were dismissed without court cost. That doesn't mean you get your car back for free. Somebody has to pay for fees and storage. And it's not going to be the prosecutor, and it's not going to be the city or the chief of police.
So your judge said, my Burlington City, Burlington Township. Burlington don't have no court. You know that, sir? Everybody go to township court. This is signed by the judge from township.
Judge Lang goes to Burlington City.
Oh, but there's no Burlington court. So everybody go to Burlington Township. So your court in your township signed it. Look, no court.
And I'm the one who was given those tickets and those.
So it's something that you need to talk about.
So if he represents.
I went to the county.
I understand that.
Okay, so it's protocol. Is that right?
I understand.
So municipality, county. So I went to the county. Would you see the letter in there that you don't care about? You say even though it's
care about.
okay. So why is it not?
They as a business.
Don't they have to deal with that with Burlington? Why is I'm included? Burlington called
Because
this.
they're not going to release the vehicle until those fees are paid.
Okay.
As a business, once that vehicle is released and nobody pays it, then they're out that money. So they need to hold on to that vehicle.
Sir. If you call somebody, right, and you told them to come get something, you're liable. I'm not. You telling me liable?
So that's why I'm telling you.
But no, why? No, I'm not the party.
But we can't even.
My documents from the prosecutor. I did my job, sir. You're not understanding. So if I did
what I have to say.
Yes.
But we can't make Burlington City
And I can't
tell.
have them release the vehicle.
So
But the prosecutor is telling everyone to release the vehicle, though.
who does? In law.
I'm confused.
I too would be confused if I spent all day listening to this guy. He's a typical fast talker who tries to bamboozle you with bullshit. Only this guy isn't very convincing. Everyone he meets outside of his group knows he's full of it. Con artists use the same tactic.
Back Burlington City and told them about having your vehicle released.
But why are we talking? I'm so confused.
Is this your prosecutor? Yes. So do you recognize him, right? Okay. So I'm gonna let you hear it. And I don't have to do this. This is my private. This is my lawsuit. Okay. So I'm just letting you do it. Listen to me. I was talking to John Fine. Okay. He's talking to me. Okay. You want to hear me say the letter? I wrote John Fine a letter. Okay. You just seen the letter. You don't care about it. Okay. So we have a good day. Okay. No worries. What does the letter say?
The one that you have, the copy of.
Okay, all right, have a good day, son.
Seriously, how do I
Waste your time.
I mean, he's.
Just get a car. Don't matter. Don't have a good day, sir. It's okay. Have a great day, sir.
So off he goes in a huff without his car, and I still don't think he's got it back to this day, and it won't be released until he gets it properly registered, insured, and pays the fees. And it doesn't look like that's happening anytime soon, because he's too busy misinterpreting the law on TikTok and YouTube. But the tow companies don't hold cars indefinitely. I assume it will be sold to recover their costs eventually. Anyway, this one isn't over by a long shot, so don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future videos on this story and other sovereign citizen content. Take care all, and I will catch you in the next one.
Paris, Kentucky, where 30-year-old Bass Webb has been charged with 2 counts of attempted murder. This surveillance video taken outside a Kentucky jail a week earlier captured the moment when Webb, a former inmate there, who served 3 months on assault charges, accelerated his car and tried to run over 2 jail employees. One man was able to get out of the way, but one man was injured after Webb's vehicle pinned him against the wall. At his first court appearance before Judge Vanessa Dixon, Webb's bad behavior continued. Judge Dixon then informed Webb she's recusing herself from the trial because she knew the 2 jail employees he targeted with his vehicle. Watch again as Webb literally spit on the judge. But this incident is far from the last time Bass Webb will spit in the face of the law. While waiting to go to trial, he and 4 other inmates incited a riot inside the Fayette County Detention Center. After being shot with beanbag bullets, then hit in the neck by a pepper ball, Webb whips a metal telephone box at a corrections officer.
If I were to launch this at someone 10 feet away, because this is capable of stopping that, does not mean that that is not readily capable of causing death or serious physical injury.
Webb was found guilty of 3rd-degree assault and sentenced to 15 years in prison. And for his attempt to run over the 2 jail employees, he was later found guilty of 2 counts of attempted murder and got an additional 37 years. Bass Webb was facing a total of 52 years behind bars, but more disturbing accusations were on the way. While incarcerated, he was charged with the unsolved murder of an ex-girlfriend. Facing a possible death sentence if convicted at trial, Webb pled guilty to the murder and got an additional 50 years. Now, 5 years later, Bass Webb is back in court yet again after being charged with the murder of a different girlfriend nearly a decade earlier. The cold case came back to haunt him after a jailhouse tip led to the discovery of the woman's remains. This time, as he's let in, he reveals a new sinister look that shocks those in attendance. A closer look at Webb's recent head tattoos reveals a demented murder hit list. It reads, "Those that must die, all judges, all prosecutors, all cops, the media." Below that, 3 rats have been scratched out, and many more, plus an expletive on the other side. Gruesome details emerge about how Webb choked his then-girlfriend to death, buried her body in a shallow grave.
Mr. Webb, do you want to come forward?
When the judge asks Webb to come forward, he remains seated and smiles. Finally, after more than a week in the courtroom, the judge reads the jury's verdict.
You have found the defendant guilty of the offense of intentional murder.
Bass Webb is then sentenced to life in prison, with the possibility of parole after 25 years. We head to Orlando, Florida. The defendant is 39-year-old Jeremy Dewitt. He's been charged with impersonating a police officer. Dewitt runs a company that provides private security escorts during funeral processions.
I'll get the light before the bridge, you get the light after the bridge.
It's a legitimate business that Dewitt is authorized to operate.
Get to me.
What he's not authorized to do is direct traffic.
Go past me. Revo, take this intersection and keep this under control.
Weave through traffic at illegal speeds.
It's still 110 down this road.
Or, most notably,
pull over. Hey, pull over! Pull over! And confront drivers while dressed somewhat like a real officer.
What are you doing? What the does it look like I'm doing, dumb? Get the over before you find out.
Stop pretending you're a police officer.
Listen, I know what I'm allowed to do and what I'm not allowed to do. What you need to do is figure it the out before you start talking.
With such blatant behavior, the local media gets wind of what Dewitt is up to. Before long, he appears on the radar of the real police. And in 2019, after police observed him breaking traffic laws, he's arrested while working a funeral.
Who is this guy? Oh, that's Jeremy right there?
When officers question Dewitt about the registration of his motorcycle, which comes up as stolen, he becomes livid.
Sergeant, my vehicle's not stolen, Sergeant. I can tell you right now, everything's being videotaped on my body cam, Sergeant. So, I have the registration for the vehicle, Sergeant.
Officers search Dewitt and find an arsenal of police gear, including handcuffs, mace, and a baton.
Because the Honda was stolen, and we got the tag back from the Orange County Sheriff's Office, and then we registered it to that motorcycle.
But as Dewitt loudly attempts to explain the situation, officers have had enough.
Just chill. If it's an issue, we'll figure it out. But you screaming and yelling isn't going to change that. Well, just sit tight.
Okay.
Dewitt's charged with impersonating an officer and released on bond. But while out on bond, police get a warrant for Dewitt's own body camera and find a wealth of incriminating footage, including more pullovers.
Get the over!
And additional confrontations with drivers Dewitt considers interfering in his escorting a funeral procession.
Hi! How are you today?
Good, how are you?
You must have missed that it's 45 through there, and then you used the turning lane to cut through traffic. Yeah. I understand you're in a nice car and everything, but let's be a little more mature the way you drive. Let's drive the right way then.
Are you a cop?
Don't worry about what I am, because I'm a state agent, so what you need to do is make sure you're doing the right thing, boy.
The driver pulls away. It doesn't take too long for Dewitt to catch up.
Yeah.
That's real nice.
Yeah, I know.
Real professional.
The way you almost hit me, boy, is the way it's professional, bitch ass.
You're not a cop.
You want to fight?
Violate the rule too.
How's that?
You even act like you're stopping me.
I didn't pull you over. Did I make a traffic on you, boy? Come on, let's go, bitch.
Dewitt's arrested again and brought before the judge with 2 more charges of impersonating an officer.
You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for falsely impersonating an officer.
Once again, is released on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Turns out Dewitt has quite a history of playing cop. He was convicted of the same charge back in 2001. But Dewitt can't seem to stay out of trouble. And after multiple arrests for impersonating an officer, he's back in court again.
Your name, sir?
I'm sorry, Jeremy Charles Dewitt, Your Honor.
This time he's not here for being a fake police officer, but for failing to register a vehicle as a very real sex offender. In 2005, Dewitt was convicted of lewd or lascivious battery involving a victim between 12 and 15 years old.
Mr. Dewitt, you're here today because you're arrested on an arrest warrant for a sex offender violation, failing to register as required. You're also out on bond on 5 charges of falsely impersonating an officer.
The state is requesting his bond to be revoked on his prior cases, giving the new law violation, continued pattern of criminal activity, and he also poses a flight risk.
The prosecution again asks that his bond be revoked. But once again, Dewitt catches a break.
No, I'm going to leave the bonds in place.
As for his remaining impersonation charges, until his trial begins, Dewitt remains free on bond. We go to Chattanooga, Tennessee. We're inside the Hamilton County Courthouse, and that's Donald Trivet. He just entered the building, but he has no court business to attend to. So why is he there? He wants access to an office, so he can take a shower. When told he doesn't have an office there, Trivet doesn't take the news well. deputies try to restrain Trivet, who sends one of them to the floor. Finally, he's taken down, and deputies appear to have things under control. But look closely. You can see Trivet reaching for the deputy's holster. If he grabs the gun, this scuffle could turn deadly. But there, a quick-thinking bailiff releases the magazine from the weapon. Even against 3 men, Trivet continues to fight. By now, a dozen officers have arrived on the scene. As a precaution to prevent officers from being bitten, a hood is placed over Trivet's head, and he's taken away in handcuffs. Trivet's charged with aggravated assault, reckless endangerment, and resisting arrest. No officers were seriously injured during the incident. Next, we're in Newark, New Jersey, where Judge James Convery is overseeing a divorce hearing. On one side is Benjamin Taylor and his attorney, Yvette Ramos Alvarez. And on the other is his soon-to-be ex-wife. To establish Taylor's total yearly income, a copy of his Social Security earnings statement has been requested by his wife's attorney.
Now Ms. Polsky comes back after everything was finished except for the Social Security earnings statements, which he doesn't have.
He gets his Social Security every year indicating.
The earnings statement.
He gets his earnings statement. He gets it. He gets it every year. So she asked for it. Why didn't he provide it?
He doesn't have it.
He threw it away?
I would presume he did.
Oh, come on.
As you can see, Judge Convery is not buying the dog ate my homework story. So he decides to do a quick courtroom poll to prove his point.
Don't you get it? I get it. You get it? You get it? Everybody gets it. Social Security sends it to your home every year.
Alvarez, however, disagrees, based on her own experience.
No, I don't get it. They sent it to my home 4 years ago. I haven't received it in the last 3.
This is the final moment before Judge Convery says something he'll regret.
Well, when did you become an illegal alien?
Judge?
Alvarez is taken aback by the judge's comment. Not only is she of Hispanic descent, but she's also the former president of the Hispanic Bar Association of New Jersey.
Judge, I am going to. That was a totally inappropriate comment.
I didn't mean it. Listen to me.
As Judge Convery tries to backpedal, Alvarez moves forward, right out the door. Then comes the awkward silence. Alvarez returned to the courtroom 10 minutes later, and Judge Convery apologized, but the damage had been done. Alvarez later filed a misconduct complaint against Judge Convery, which, along with other public complaints, led to a public reprimand by the New Jersey Supreme Court. Next, we're in Las Vegas, Nevada, for a bond revocation hearing for a defendant accused of violating his parole. A year earlier, 35-year-old Michael Mcdonald was released on bond while he awaited trial for charges including burglary, forgery, and perjury. The criminal charges stem from a long and contentious divorce and custody case that ended with his ex-wife being granted a no-contact order to keep McDonald away from her and their 2 children. Now, as he awaits trial on criminal charges, the state argues he violated his parole when he violated that no-contact order.
One of his release conditions was to have no contact with the individual, his ex-wife. Approximately a month ago in June, he then mailed a number of items to this wife's address.
The items mentioned were actually gifts addressed to his children. McDonald's lawyer claims his client didn't know sending the items violated the no-contact order and argues he should be allowed to remain out on bond until his upcoming trial.
He sent 2 gifts, that's it. No nasty notes with them. Mr. McDonald is not violent or a threat to the community.
presenting McDonald's actions as an innocent mistake. But Judge Kathy Hardcastle knows the history of the case and isn't buying it.
I would note that back in the family court, constantly violated orders. He would always insist that the order said something else.
The judge also cites McDonald's history of unstable behavior during his divorce that ultimately led to the no-contact order being granted.
I was the one who found that he was a potential danger to his children because he lied to the court about surrendering his weapons after he'd been ordered to surrender his weapons, and that because of his bizarre behavior, putting a tracking device on his wife's vehicle. And so I'm seeing the same type of conduct, and it's an obsession. It's a escalating course. I'm not sure that he is capable of controlling himself because he wasn't before. So based upon that, I am granting the motion.
Moments after the judge makes her decision that McDonald did indeed violate the conditions of his parole, two court marshals approach McDonald with handcuffs.
Hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
It's unclear what McDonald is trying to say to the judge as he pulls his arms away. What is clear is that McDonald is not ready to cooperate.
Mike, calm down. Mike, calm down. Breath.
I got this in the gun. It's caught.
Mike, calm down. Take a deep breath.
Guys, 15 Charlie. 15 Charlie.
As you can hear, McDonald's attorney calmly tries to get him to settle down.
I'm going to take her.
Mike, stop fighting with him. All right, I'm fighting. There, no, stop on him. Don't fight.
Understand? I'm going to tase you.
But as he continues to resist, even with the threat of being tased, his lawyers had enough.
Mike, put the handcuffs on. I'll put them on myself. I'm on your side, Mike. Settle on.
As additional officers come to restrain McDonald, he continues to plead his case.
I just want to see my kids not getting prosecuted as an enemy of the state. I just want
Michael McDonald was found guilty of multiple counts of burglary, forgery, and perjury in relation to his divorce case, and was sentenced to 24 to 68 months in Nevada State Prison with credit for 215 days served. And for refusing to be handcuffed during the hearing, McDonald picked up an additional charge of resisting an officer.
I've been told that the jury's reached a verdict. Is that correct?
Next, we head to Batesville, Mississippi, for the verdict in the trial of Quentin Telus. The 29-year-old is charged with capital murder in the death of Jessica Chambers. Chambers, who was only 19, was doused with gasoline and set on fire in her own car. Telus admitted being with Chambers the night she was killed and claimed they had a sexual relationship, but he denied any involvement in her death. On the night she was killed, Chambers can be seen on surveillance footage at a gas station. About 90 minutes later, firefighters responded to a call about a burning car. When they arrived, they found Chambers still alive, burns covering 98% of her body. First responders testified that before being airlifted to the hospital, she told them her attacker was named Eric. She died the next day. Police investigated the Eric lead, but found no suspects with that name. Instead, using cell phone records, they were able to place Telus and Chambers together just before the attack, and he was charged with capital murder. He pled not guilty, and his attorney focused on the naming of Eric to sow doubt in the state's case.
All right, bring the jury in, please.
The trial lasted 6 days, and the jury deliberated for 10 hours before reaching a verdict. If convicted, Telus could be sentenced to death. The trial judge is Gerald Chatham.
I've been told that the jury's reached a verdict. Is that correct? I don't need to know what your verdict was, but I just need to know, did all 12 jurors agree on that verdict?
Yes, sir, we did.
Would you hand the verdict, please, to the court, to the clerk? Excuse me.
We all didn't agree on it.
Sir?
We all didn't agree on it.
Sir?
You said we all agreed on that verdict. We did.
All 12. The verdict has to be unanimous. So all 12 did not agree on the verdict. Is that what you're telling me, sir?
Yeah, I can agree.
The courtroom is stunned because the jury must unanimously agree on the verdict, be it guilty or not guilty. So the jury's ordered back to their room to discuss the case further. After 20 agonizing minutes, the jury returns.
Once again, I've been informed that the jury has reached a verdict. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now I need to ask you, is it unanimous?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has that verdict been recorded on a separate sheet of paper?
Yes, Your Honor.
Would you pass it to the clerk, please? Clerk, please read the verdict.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Quentin Telus, not guilty of capital murder.
As family members on both sides try to contain their emotions, the prosecution asks that each juror be polled individually just to be sure. This trial is not over yet.
I'll ask each one of you if that is your verdict. All right. Ms.
Not guilty.
Ms.
Not guilty.
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 Wait, what? Confusion remains. It seems that although the jury is claiming its verdict is not guilty, nearly half of them are saying the opposite. And people in the courtroom are taking notice of the situation. So is the prosecutor.
Your Honor, I'm way misunderstanding here.
The judge polls the individual jurors a second time and gets the same results.
I voted guilty.
All right. I voted guilty.
It is now clear there is an obvious miscommunication between judge and jury.
I don't know why the verdict was recorded as it was.
Upon further investigation, it was determined the jury confusion stemmed from their instructions, which incorrectly stated a unanimous vote was needed for a guilty verdict only. But the jury had to be unanimous for either verdict. So the judge reiterates the verdict must be unanimous and sends them back a third time to work through their differences.
I'm going to ask you to go back, consider your verdict, deliberate, and please record your verdict accurately. All right?
Both the defendant and victim's family can only wait, frustrated, as the judge and jury attempt to work out the issue. After further deliberation of over an hour, the jury is unable to reach a unanimous verdict. The judge has no choice but to declare a mistrial. Telus is retried a year later with the same conclusion, a split jury resulting in another mistrial. Prosecutors may decide to try Telus a third time. He's currently sitting in a Louisiana state prison for an unrelated crime. Now to Durham, North Carolina, where Judge James Hill is presiding over a child custody case. For 3 long days, divorced parents Rashawna and Colin Morrison have been going at it, quite personally, in the courtroom.
I'm angry that his dad lives in Durham, can go on vacations with friends, take mistresses out to eat, take her on vacation, and can't seem to see his son.
The child's mother, Rashawna, claims her ex-husband abandoned their 3-year-old son and failed to pay child support. He argues she withheld his son from him and is seeking permanent custody. And the judge? Well, he isn't happy with either of them.
I could care less about it. I could. Still here tonight, boy.
And he's about to let them know it.
Two parents, not to choose my words very carefully. Two parents can come in and act like such idiots. Y'all were the one that crawled into bed and had sex and made that baby. He didn't ask to be born.
see two adults acting like idiots. Now say the word idiots.
He did. 3 times. Afterward, Judge Hill turns his attention towards Roshana.
I have no doubt that she'll go in there with that little boy. Don't you look at me. You say one more word, you're gonna go to the dirt guy man records today. You say one more word. All right. That was she's got 24 hours to get the pool, run her back as soon as we get done. All right, you got 48 hours. You will say it each, you got 48 hours back there.
Roshana eventually quiets down, and finally, after 3 heated days in the courtroom, the judge delivers his decision.
Both parents are fit and proper persons to have custody of our child under joint custody.
This is a disgrace. What you guys are doing, you need to let your son for 9 months. You don't take care of him. You're strong. You have a history. You have no one ready to take care of him. I take care of my baby. And I keep living with teachers to me. Is that right? Whenever you feel right.
As officers try to restrain her, Morrison's brother, Sherrod Smith, comes forward from the back of the courtroom. At first, he tries to help by calming down his sister. But when that doesn't work, and Roshana throws a bailiff a right hook, Big Brother's caught in the middle. Officers try to restrain him, but he sends one of them flying. Meanwhile, the judge makes a quick exit. As one deputy fights to gain control of Morrison, another puts her brother in handcuffs. And here come even more officers to shut things down. As Morrison and Smith are taken away, a third person is also restrained in the back of the courtroom. Their mother.
You should have videoed this. You should have videoed this.
Smith and his mother are hit with 48 hours in jail for resisting a public officer, while Morrison receives 30 days. Morrison and her husband now have a joint custody agreement. Judge James Hill received a public reprimand by the North Carolina Supreme Court for improperly exercising his contempt powers, failing to maintain order and decorum, and making inappropriate comments.
David Hall.
Next, we go to a bond hearing in Broward County, Judge John Hurley presiding. The defendant is David Hall, a sovereign citizen who basically believes that certain laws don't apply to him.
Mr. Hall has declined the services of the public defender, Your Honor.
Hall is here for driving under the influence and driving with a suspended license.
Mr. Hall, DUI, expired driver's license.
Good morning, Judge.
As soon as the judge attempts to read the charges, Hall begins interrupting.
Sir, I haven't said for the court how I'm appearing today, sir.
I'm not asking you yet. Just give me a moment, all right? I need to look at your record.
Turns out Hall is currently out on bond for 2 previous charges of driving with a suspended license. But that's not going to stop him from trying to make his case.
Sir, today I'm appearing as the agent and settler for David Hall.
Okay. Could you get Mr. Hall for me then, sir? Where is he?
I go by that name, sir. My name sounds exactly like the defendant's, and I'm here to settle that matter today.
So are you and David Hall one and the same person?
I'm not a person, I'm an individual. David Hall is a person. I am a private individual.
Hall's legalese is unconventional, to say the least, but the judge allows him to continue.
May I say something else for the record, sir?
Go ahead, sir.
I appear here today as the settler, agent, not the person, but the individual. And I don't think I should have you understand the difference between a person and an individual.
And you're the individual, but you're not the person. Is that correct?
Correct. Correct.
I'm going to write that down.
Judge Hurley is unfazed by Hall's attempt at a Jedi mind trick and begins to turn the tables.
Here's what we're going to do. The settler, the agent, the individual, and maybe even the person, David Hall, has been charged with DUI. So today, the court's going to say the settler, the agent, the individual's bond, and even the person's bond today, pay $10,000 because the settler, the agent, the individual, and the person continues to drive without a driver's license.
Paul's new bond is $10,000, but because this charge is a violation of his original bond, all versions of David Hall must remain in jail unless he can come up with the cash.
Both cases will cause the settler, the agent, the individual, and even the person, David Hall, not to be able to be released from the Broward County Jail until further notice of the court. So,
may I post bond, sir?
Now it's Judge Hurley's turn to have some fun.
Well,
is there any other?
Are you asking me as the settler, the agent, the individual, or are you asking me as the person?
Sir, I'm asking as the individual appearing before you today, the opportunity.
Who are you speaking on behalf of right now?
Sir, I don't understand that question. I believe that you're trying to confuse me now. I'm not the person, sir.
Okay,
I am not
the person, David Hall. Tell him he's not leaving jail either, all right? Have a nice day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Down the middle. Let's roll.
Outside the courthouse, defendants are being transported to the county jail, including Diego Jose Zayas Martinez. He's been charged with making terroristic threats and stabbing a man. He was just in court at his bond hearing, where his bail was set at $100,000. Watch as the deputy escorts the men to the bus. There's Zayas Martinez. Like the other defendants, he's wearing handcuffs, but his feet are free, so he decides to use them. Let's take a closer look. Zayas Martinez makes a break for it just beyond the grasp of the second deputy, and the officers immediately give chase. But one quickly stops, deciding to stay with the remaining prisoners. Zayas Martinez makes it to the parking lot. One of the deputies isn't far behind. He'll need to pick up the pace, though, if he wants to close the gap. Despite the deputy trying to head him off, Zayas Martinez manages to stay one step ahead. Looks like he's just hopped a fence. And with that, he could be home free. Not quite. Later that day, a sheriff's deputy gets some help from a concerned citizen who tells him the man he's after is hiding beneath her house. Zayas Martinez is captured and taken back to the courthouse, where his original bond is increased to $500,000, and he faces an additional charge of third-degree escape. Next, we go to a pretrial hearing in Louisville, Kentucky. The defendants are Mario and Jose Guzman, who are out on bond in connection with drug charges. Sitting behind the defense table is Mario's wife, Samantha Ayala. Today, the Commonwealth is asking to increase Mario's bond because of new charges, including second-degree burglary, tampering with evidence, and possession of marijuana. According to the prosecution, these offenses are a violation of his bond agreement. Hearing the motion is Judge Mary Shaw.
Your Honor, in your order, it specifically says no further violations of the law. He picked up new charges. He violated the law.
But the defense is arguing the bond should not be raised because the burglary charge is thin since the victim skipped town.
They don't have the victim because he left town because he's a drug dealer.
The Commonwealth is asking to raise Guzman's bond from $500 to $15,000, which the defense argues is too high.
I mean, we might as well say $100,000 full cash, Judge. It's an amount that Mr. Guzman can't post. That's not the purpose of bond. The purpose of bond is to make sure that someone comes to court.
After several minutes disputing prior testimony, the judge is ready to announce her decision.
All right.
I agree. New charges obviously have been picked up. Current bond is not appropriate. It will be $5,000 full cash.
If Guzman can't come up with a new amount, he'll be sent to jail as he awaits trial. A bailiff is ready to take Guzman away, but he has other ideas. Let's take another look. Guzman makes a desperate break for the door. Jose Guzman begs the judge for help. After the deputy deploys his taser, Guzman's wife, Samantha, becomes inconsolable. Court officers wrestle Mario to the ground as Jose shouts instructions.
You read that, son?
Sorry, man. I'm trying to shut up! No, my baby!
Samantha is so distraught, officers place her in handcuffs. Deputies finally remove Guzman from the courtroom. A few of the officers suffer minor injuries, and Guzman is hit with additional charges. 3 counts of attempted assault and criminal mischief.
Okay.
And his bond is increased another $2,500 for a total of $7,500.
And with that, we will bring that to a close. Alright, part C will come on back in the overnight. Until then, make sure you do like, share, and subscribe. Be kind to one another and release the crack as we march along this evening and every evening here from day one. Have a great night. Art Bell comes up in the overnight. Until then, have a great day. And thanks for watching us here on From Day.